What's going on, gang? We are back with another reaction video. You already know what we are here for. To everybody that's been supporting this channel, I appreciate you guys so much. And if you are new to the channel, please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell down below, and welcome. But without further ado, let's get into it.
Most feared men in Hollywood. They don't like me in Hollywood.
Why do they not like you?
I don't wear dresses. I don't do that gay stuff on TV. Glad to get some other black person to do that stuff. I'm talking, that's gunning. But they all confess they love the Lord. But you cannot compromise yourself if you love the Lord. So I play tough guys, but young kids want to be soldiers. Young kids don't want to follow a guy to wear a dress. You know what I'm talking about.
Man, it's really upsetting because some of the funniest movies is when the actors do dress up in dresses. And I'm just trying to figure out, why is it so bad if it's just for a character? Just as if somebody would play a bad guy, why can't somebody play the opposite sex just to be funny? Maybe it's just we're so desensitized that we really don't think it's a big deal, but maybe it really is. Because every time you do the opposite of what God designed it to be, it is considered a perversion. So it just seemed like it used to be normal back in the day to see these type of movies, but now it's becoming a real big deal.
Was never really that political until George Soros bought all of the rights to her music. This is real.
My entire catalog was sold to Scooter Braun's Ithaca Holdings in a deal that I'm told was funded by the Soros family, 23 Capital, and the Carlyle Group.
Enter Operation Taylor. Travis Kelce was not a big-time celebrity. So suddenly, this dude, who I've never heard of, and you've probably never heard of, it becomes the face of Bud Light. A little strange choice, isn't it? This premier athlete became the face of Pfizer and the COVID-19
He got paid
injection.
so much money
Travis,
for that.
did you know you can get this season's COVID-19 shot?
18% of voters say they're more likely or significantly more likely to vote for a candidate endorsed by Taylor Swift. This published today from the New York Times. Predictive programming? Oh yeah. What's happening with Taylor Swift is not organic or natural. It's an op. We all feel it and we all know it.
Everything that they come up with in the damn government and the elections, it is a hoax to move us in the direction that they want us to be moved, just like sheep. But when it comes to Hollywood, they have developed such an amazing system to use it as a stepping stool and really support what they are trying to do. Like, I remember they used the heck out of Kanye, and now they're probably doing the same thing with Taylor Swift.
Open up any English Bible to this day and go to Genesis 1:26, and it'll read, "And God said, let us make man in our image after our likeness." There is plurality there. If you were to ask any theologian or whatever and be like, why is there plurality there? They would give you some cute answer like it's God talking to himself or God talking to Jesus or whatever, but that's not the truth. The reason there's plurality there is because the word that was used in the Hebrew text, the original, was not God. The word that was used was Elohim, and Elohim is a plural word, meaning the powerful ones. So if you go back and read Genesis 1:26 with that in mind, now you're reading, the powerful ones said, let us make man in our image after our likeness. The powerful ones are the Anunnaki. The people who wrote the Bible, they were from the Middle East. You know, they lived in that area. They lived closer in time to the Babylonians, to ancient Sumeria and all that. So the Sumerians were their ancestors. They knew those tales by heart. You know, for example, the Sumerian Enuma Elish was reenacted every year.
There is so much controversy when it comes to the scriptures and to the Bibles. There's so much information missing. And also there's so much manipulation. The only way that you can know the truth is turn inwards and really ask these questions and get your relationship right with God. No matter what any other man tells you. And when you ask God to reveal the truth to you, no matter what the cost. Until you do that, you are going to be so confused. I'm telling you right now. Whoa. I'm shocked, but I'm not shocked, you know?
I used to get was the long grain enriched rice, or I would get the this type of rice, the long grain enriched rice.
So hungry.
So the problem is that these rices have been put through the enrichment process, and how you know, when you look at the ingredients, you see enriched parboiled rice, but then you see this right here. These are the synthetic minerals that are added. You'll see calcium carbonate, iron phosphate. You'll see thiamine monotristate and folic acid. Now these are
I swear the same thing. I swear the same thing happens with bread and flour as well.
naturally occurring minerals and vitamins, but those that they add are synthetic versions of the same thing.
Okay.
One of the side effects of these synthetic ingredients is weight gain. So what I did, I made a switch to like a natural basmati rice. When you look at the ingredients, you'll see white basmati rice. That's all that's in this. Or a natural jasmine rice.
Keep it simple.
That's why I'm always saying read the ingredients.
The less that ingredients is, the better it is for you. As soon as it's genetically modified, as soon as it's artificially flavored or artificially sweetened, it's bad for you. And another way that you could really tell is if something lasts for a very long time. The additives that it has in it and the preservatives. Them preservatives are terrible for you.
Just be careful, especially if you're doing it in LA at Griffith Park. Many say a lot of rituals and sacrifices are taking place here, and because of the history, this place is very haunted. Now, someone was on a hike during the day and listened to what she caught on camera.
And the way that he keeps walking towards it. I don't know if people are brave or stupid at this point. You all saw that. I don't have to say much.
Study is warning parents to make sure your children don't use too much toothpaste. The CDC found too many children are using too much of it.
The amount of toothpaste is also important because if you use too much, then you risk what is called fluorosis.
So more and more studies are showing that fluoride, which is purposely placed in toothpaste and tap water, can cause brain developing problems in kids. And just when Colgate issued a nationwide...
Yeah, that's literally the toothpaste that I use with the black version. It's like a black tube, and I think it's made out of charcoal, and it says it doesn't have any fluoride, but I can't believe anything anymore.
...recall for its Hello Wild Strawberry Kids toothpaste. Apparently it says fluoride-free, knowing it ain't nothing in it but fluoride. Fluoride is a natural mineral found throughout the Earth's crust and widely distributed in nature. However, according to the Fluoride Action Network, fluoride is the new lead a poisonous substance that is linked to brain damage and lowered IQ, especially in children. It's wise to use very small amounts of fluoride toothpaste.
Yo, we are fluorided out. It's in everything. On top of that, people think that you can only consume it by ingesting it. Remember that when we take showers and we take baths and we bathe our children, the biggest organ in our body is our skin tissue. So imagine how much fluoride we are just consuming on a daily basis. And because these companies are so monopolized, we have to go to great lengths to get food and water that's suitable for a human being, which in many cases is going to take a village to even try to pursue. But because so many people are brainwashed, that's going to be very much hard to do. So if you can independently make a difference and move out of your city and move out of whatever town that you are in, get you a piece of land, get a well, grow your food, that's really going to be the only way. Right now, we have some choices still in the grocery store, but eventually we won't.
You need to stop drinking this. In fact,
Here we go
you need
again.
to stop drinking from plastic, period. First of all, you know Aquafina is owned by Pepsi, right? And you know Dasani is owned by Coca-Cola. The last thing those companies care about is your health. Understand that every time you drink from a plastic bottle like this, you are drinking different heavy metals and toxins that come from the plastic. This is called chemical leaching. Understand that when your plastic bottles are exposed to sunlight or even just sitting on the shelf in the store, they are absorbing sunlight, or even just sitting on the shelf in the store, they are absorbing into the water. And the water that you drink absorbs into your bloodstream. I don't care if the bottle says BPA free because it still has other chemicals that are going to disrupt your endocrine system. These chemicals disrupt your hormones, and it's a big reason why today men have much lower testosterone levels. So if you're buying water at a grocery store, make sure that it's coming in a boxed bottle or a glass.
If you guys have any options, let me know down below, because as of right now, I'm drinking spring water, but it still comes in plastic containers. No matter how healthy the choice that we try to make, it looks like they're still owned by these big mainstream companies. Me and my family were actually at the store earlier and decided to pick up a few boxes that are coated with that like aluminum type coloring inside. I'm not sure what it is, but it is in like a carton box, and the water tasted pretty good. But at the same time, I feel like when you try to get any type of water outside of what they want to give you, it becomes super expensive. And imagine how much water that we need to consume on a regular basis to stay healthy. But let me know if you guys have a better suggestion and what your favorite water is.
That all of the Anunnaki were supposed to be reptilian, and that the reptilian biology had blood that was dominated by copper, and that they literally had blue colored blood. We have red because we have an iron dominant blood. So our discussion from his history and my trying to get into it through aliens that have been dominating the earth was that the blue blood reptilians of Mesopotamia led to a group called the Merovingians. And the Merovingians tie later in the timeline directly to France, Germany, and that area of Europe, because for some reason, that bloodline, the blue bloods, went to Europe. Lawrence Gardner and other people's work coming through royalty, blue blood, tie this connection between the reptilians, Merovingians in Mesopotamia, and they were literally a reptilian blue blood line.
When you start looking at these subjects, whether it is on the web or in some books that people qualify as possibly conspiracy books, it is often spoken of a genetic lineage, reptilian and of royal blood. I do think that some royal bloodlines still exist nowadays that come from the Anunnaki, specifically the lineage of Enlil, Ninurta, and An.
The Sumerians were said to have learned astrology from the Anunnaki, and this afforded them an in-depth knowledge of our solar system. Ancient carvings in the stone tablets show the various planets, and most incredibly they depicted the 10th planet. This planet actually orbits the Sun every 3,600 Earth years, and in doing so, it comes fairly close to our Earth, travelling on a huge elliptical orbit.
I think that's one of my favorite subjects is the bloodlines. Not too long ago, actually it might have been a while ago, but I found some information in regards to the bloodlines dating all the way back to like Adam and Eve and how it relates and correlates to the Bible. I swear to God, like I hope that I can find it for you guys, because if I do, we're going to go ahead and go over that and have a whole video about that. It is super interesting.
Know that every single president in U.S. history is related to one king.
What are you talking about?
This is where it gets crazy. This man, Harold Brooks Baker, he did all this study on U.S. presidents and royal lineage. He had this theory that the presidents weren't voted in by the people, but they were actually selected based on royal bloodline. So, 13 or so years ago, this 12-year-old girl, for her 7th grade project, with the help of her grandparents, went down the lineage of each president, and they all connected to one man.
Weird.
All their lineage traced back to King John from the House of Plantagenet.
How is that possible?
And there's a folklore around the House of Plantagenet that they were actually descendants from a demon.
Oh, what? That's horrible.
But that's where this dude's theory came in. He's like, it's not about who the people vote for. It's within the candidates that are running for president who has the more direct bloodline to King John.
It's like a game almost. That's pretty cool. But at the same time, it's not, because look at us suffering. Y'all, imagine us learning this stuff in school. How crazy would it be? That could never happen.
If you thought that stuff was crazy, wait till I break this bloodline down to y'all. And I've already talked about this before. People call me wrong. People call me crazy. People told me I was reaching. You know what? I can't comment back to everybody. So here y'all go. If you just Google this, like the fact that Obama and George Bush are 10th cousins once removed. There's plenty of credible sources out there that will tell you that each and every one of these bloodlines are real. For example, Obama's related to Brad Pitt and Hillary Clinton is related to Angelina Jolie. Obama and Bush are 10th cousins, linked by Samuel Hinckley of Cape Cod. Obama and Brad Pitt are 9th cousins, linked by Edward Hickman. Hillary Clinton is a distant cousin of Madonna, Celine Dion, and a bunch of other people. Telling y'all can find this stuff yourself. And America isn't the only place with these prominent bloodlines. Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip were actually 3rd cousins. We see this a lot throughout European history with the Habsburg jawline, which I've talked about this before. Charles II of Spain's whole family tree are all cousins, including the wives and husbands. This is called the Habsburg jaw, a prominent jawline that shows your royalty. You have the blood.
I mean, the Rothschilds already let us know that they're all cousins and they're all related. So I can imagine and I can believe that all of that in the past is true. Think about all the movies and all the shows that show us what they would do to keep the bloodline pure. They would literally kill their brothers and sisters or anybody that stands in the way of them trying to keep that bloodline pure. And at the same time, with all the arranged marriages, it was always about power. It was never about love or anything like that. And a lot of times they made their own people marry their cousins. And if that wasn't available, a brother and sister would be next in line.
Were Ted Bundy and JFK part of the Illuminati? When I saw names like these come up as one of the 13 bloodlines, I had to look into it. It is believed the Illuminati have their hooks into every business, politician, and entertainer out there. But at the top, just under Satan and the fallen angels, are the 13 bloodlines who control the cabal. Names like Bundy, and though he is a direct descendant, it is not believed Ted Bundy was part of the Illuminati, but he is one of the most notorious serial killers of all time. Many believe that since he carries the name, the Illuminati had something to do with the murders. See, the 13 love when their name rings throughout history, so they'll cause traumatic events. Ted was even quoted as saying, he doesn't like to do what he does. But before he does it, a dark force takes him over and he blacks out. Theorists believe they used mind control to make him commit these crimes. In JFK's assassination, yeah, check part 2.
Yo, it is so wild out here. I mean, wow. Like, we're watching all these videos in a row and pretty much they're all related to each other. No pun intended. But look at all the stuff that they are causing in the world just to keep the bloodlines pure and keep the power.
McDonald's having a big M and them symbolizing the big M. I didn't think that was a big deal. Why would I? Or Marathon gas station or M&M's candy. I didn't think that was a big deal. Why would I? As I, started looking into numerology, I understood that M is 13, and that signifies homage to the 13 bloodline Illuminati families. It's all over the place. Go on your computers and put in all the movies that start with 13. 13 Warriors, 13 Ghosts. It's like 30 of them. Then start looking at Ladder 49 or 6 Days, 7 Nights. This is a joke. I already mentioned the sports teams, the 76ers, 76, 13, 49ers. So it's all over if you look at it. And the system that's always in the court system, always in religion, always in astrology, it's all the same. It's 12 plus 1. 12 jurors, 1 judge, legally. Religious. Jesus, 12 apostles. Astrology, sun, 12 signs. Come on. It's everywhere. What do you think, this is a coincidence? But if they have enough up here to understand this is not a coincidence, that tells you people who know a lot more than you, if you want to be honest with yourself, are actually using this stuff. Start asking yourself why, start getting curious, and then things might start coming together for you.
That part right there. I think the number one thing that he said on here that we need to pay attention to is be honest with yourself. And when we say people are asleep, this is what we're talking about. One main reason is that, people will always choose comfort over discomfort. And it's way more comfortable to believe those old delusions and programming. It's going to use way more brain power to have to rewire yourself and understand that things are not what they seem. Because then you're going to have to come to the truth of things. And that's going to be a rough and tough experience and journey. And then you're going to have to start researching and relearning your whole reality. And people don't want to do that.
Breaking news, Mark Zuckerberg in New Mexico are having a lawsuit about... Yeah, feel free to pause the screen and read that.
Whoa. Now, I mean, I know that Meta or Facebook or whatever it's called, I know that's just very disruptive in general to just mental health, but that right there, I knew nothing about.
Read that highlighted part. It says that it's 10 times worse than that type of website. This was brought in by an undercover investigation. Says that Facebook and Instagram created prime location. This is a 4-count suit, by the way. And talking about,
You guys, where is this stuff in media? Where is this stuff on Facebook? Where is this stuff on Instagram? Why are we not seeing this? I mean, shout out to TikTok, but they're really close to taking that down.
traffic. So this paragraph above the highlighted part says how there was an age verification issue and they were alleging them for promoting that type of stuff. Now the highlighted section is alarming to me because it comes from a Meta spokesperson where they said in 1 month that they disabled more than 500,000 accounts for violating the child safety policies. So it's not just CNBC News is talking about it. It's also the Wall Street Journal and several other places as well. So what do you think of all of this? Take care. God bless.
I don't know what to think of it because every time we see something like this, does it ever get resolved? Do we ever get a conclusion on what happened? Do we ever get any type of statements or a list of people that actually got punished or locked up or anything like that for these type of situations? No, we don't. And by me saying that I haven't seen this on mainstream media or any type of important government websites or news stations, probably because I don't watch it anymore, number one. And number two, you see how they're distracting us with all the Hollywood BS? This is why, so that we don't see things like this.
So today we're announcing a federal lawsuit against Meta. Meta, of course, is the parent company of Instagram and Facebook for knowingly harming the mental health of young social media users. In short, Meta intentionally designed its social media platform to be more addictive to kids and young people. This federal lawsuit and others across the country are the result of a multi-year bipartisan investigation by nearly every attorney general across the United States. Now, one thing I want to mention up front, it's important, is that Meta is claiming that many of their internal documents that we have sought through the process, including those showing that it knew was harming kids, should be kept confidential. And we are asking the court, of course, to make those documents public.
It's not only harming kids, it's harming adults, it's harming everybody that is on social media. I don't know if I developed ADHD from scrolling on TikTok or Facebook, but I've definitely seen a shift even in myself when it comes to my attention span. It has become tremendously shorter than ever before. Like, I mean, it's so hard to pay attention to stuff right now because it's like you want to know that information in 10 seconds, then you want to move on to the next thing because it almost gets boring, you know? And that's me as an adult. So imagine what it does to kids. But also with us just seeing so much nudity and sexual content, it's really unbelievable. I mean, it's right there. You cannot go one day without seeing that type of stuff. Everybody's reality has really been altered on so many levels. And other than censoring or completely taking these social medias out of the picture, I'm not really sure what all we can do.
Zuckerberg, would you be comfortable sharing with us the name of the hotel you stayed in last night?
This one right here.
No. If you've messaged anybody this week, would you share with us the names of the people you've messaged?
Senator, no, I would probably not choose to do that publicly here.
I think that may be what this is all about. Your right to privacy, the limits of your right to privacy, and how much you give away in modern America in the name of connecting people around the world.
It took him 50 seconds to open that book, read him, and close it back up. It's really that simple.
Guys, pay attention to this.
I want to thank...
I forgot how much they hated Obama. I really forgot. Wow.
that his jacket? Is that his jacket? Is that his jacket?
If I was the president, you couldn't play with me like that. I'm gonna have a little spray bottle, like you spray the cats with when they act bad. I'm gonna have me a big old spray bottle for people in the crowd that's not acting right. And where's Obama's people at? I mean, if this is not staged, that man should have been escorted out so quick.
If it's in the bank, why don't you go down to the bank this afternoon and get 50 G's from it?
Is that hard?
Impossible.
Well, I've called
Not
them and they
impossible.
just said they need time.
Oh yeah, they need time because they're not carrying cash because they're fractionalized banking. But try to give them 50 grand.
They always need time when you want your money.
Come back, man. Come back. We can't take this. We have
they
people
want
in
some
line.
money?
I dropped $1 million in cash off to a bank one day at 7:30 in the morning into their door. And they're like, you don't have any security? No. And I'm getting on a plane, dude. You're taking this money. This came from you. It's coming back to you. They literally had to shut the bank down. They were so nervous. Giving the banks money is becoming problematic. And for sure taking it.
What do you think one day if the banks just don't respond?
Don't respond to
anything.
I think that's going to happen.
Well, that's where you wish you had some cash or some Bitcoin.
You guys, let me tell you something. This is a true story. And this happened to my grandfather. Now, mind you, we are from a different country. We've seen this type of stuff in our lifetime. You know how we think back on our great-grandparents and great-grandparents in the United States and how they went through the Depression and people were starving outside and people were begging and they were just outside dying and all this crazy stuff that feels like it could never be real because it never happened to us. But my grandfather one day, he went to the bank and the bank was closed. The lights were out, the doors were locked, and everything he had saved, everything he had made throughout his life was behind them closed doors. And that day on, it never reopened. And this is not a story that I heard on so-and-so. This happened to my grandfather one morning when he woke up and went to the bank, you guys. This can happen here. We just don't understand that because it's hard for us to comprehend something so crazy. Imagine you go get that money out and the bank is closed. What would you do? What would you do with that little bit of money that you have in your wallet? Because as you know, most of it is on credit cards or debit cards. So once the banks go, those go right with it. Let me know, guys. Comment down below. Guys, that is it for the reaction videos for today. I'm so happy to have you guys here. I wouldn't want to do this with anybody else, guys. So I want to say thank you. And for the new people, we want to welcome you to our new family. All you got to do is subscribe, like the video, and hit that notification bell down below so you can be notified every time a new video is released. Guys, that is it. That is all. Be good and do right. And I will catch you on the next one.